broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Right on time. I missed it.
Just the...
Feels good. Feels good. Did it go up? Did it go right?
Steve really participates now.
It's so sweet.
It took Steve a long time.
It did.
Bearded-
He moved out of the head bob and into the shoulder move.
Bearded
I'm
Steve
loving
participates.
it. Right. He's like, once I shave, it's over.
Yeah, the
I
second
love
he
that.
shaves, it's back to the head bob.
I love being back here with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Suits. I'm your host, Stacy Ike, and I have my phone ready. So please tweet me at @OneTakeStace for all of your questions, comments, concerns, and insults. Probably on Harvey, because that's what I feel too. And I'm with my lovely co-host. Introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, Lauren Ebersol here. You can find me on all social media at The Fancy Hippie, but Twitter is obviously the most important. #ABTVSuits.
Yes, love it.
And you guys can find me here right now, but also at Steve Kaufmann. That's KAUFMANN. Tweet. I'm on Reddit as well. I'm on
Yep.
Reddit right now looking.
Right.
I'm in the chat. I'm running a couple different things.
You're
Love
on
it.
things I don't even know the names of.
Right. He's like, all right, y'all, Periscope is happening. Anyway, okay. So, great episode.
Yeah.
Great episode.
I like this one.
What's an overall, I guess, yes, no, maybes?
Overall, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
It was a good episode.
Okay. I yelled a little bit, you know.
You
or a lot.
always yell.
I
Let's
do.
be clear.
I do. Harvey irritated me just a smidge, but that's fine. We'll get into that. Let's jump into.
Oh, I was just going to say we needed a reason for the psychiatrist to come back again.
We do,
I feel
we
like
do.
this whole season is all about like dealing with Harvey's issues.
Which isn't bad.
No, it's not.
yeah.
It's different.
He's
it makes
had
it so it's
issues-
not so procedural. We're actually learning something
Well,
new.
and he's
Yes.
had issues the whole time.
Yeah.
They've just been good for everyone at the time. But now we're finally like, no,
You have to.
you have
yeah.
you have a winner's complex, if you will.
And that's the thing. Like, I think that's why it irritated me, because I didn't realize his issues prevail over like good situations. Like when he was like fighting the bad guy or whatever, I was like, oh yeah, his issues are great. He's crazy, and that's what we need. But now it's like, okay, I genuinely did believe Tanner. And it took me a couple minutes, but by 30 minutes in the show, I was like, I think I believe Tanner. And it was really irritating that Harvey would not budge. And that bugged me so much. So we can jump into the first scene. To me, I wrote gouge your eyes out, please. Seeing Tanner and Donna in the
it was
bed
kinda
together.
hot.
Donna's face was like,
I know.
She
Girl
was
was working
sexy.
it.
Yeah.
It was
Oh.
like sultry
Donna
all
said,
up in here with that
oh,
hair.
baby, I'm sorry.
And the
that was
she
good.
worked it.
That was Sarah. You killed it. I love that. But I understand sitting in Harvey's seat, I would have died right there.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
horrific.
love too because we're seeing all of these little bits and pieces of how all this Donna stuff really tears him up inside.
Yeah.
And those, as I was saying the other week, how I need the build between Harvey and Donna if that's going to be what we end up with.
Okay,
I
okay.
needed the build to actually feel like he really felt something for her and vice
Yeah.
versa. And with these little nods, I feel like I'm
getting it.
starting to get that build. So I
what do
appreciate
you?
it.
Where do you feel sleeping with his therapist is going to go into that? Because apparently that's what we think is going to happen.
I mean, next week, the week after. I don't know. I mean,
I thought it was going to be this week, like a cool,
No.
like a kiss, not a sex scene, but I thought they would kiss. But when he was like, yelling at her at the end,
Yeah,
I
I think
really
it's going to be
Donna's-
like a one fun and done once it comes to the
Donna
sheets.
is the
Interesting.
marathon. The therapist is the race.
Exactly. Yeah.
this is terrible. I should not be clapping at this.
She just sprint.
Right.
No, she's not the sprint. The sprint, he can go to the bar and get a sprint. She's the race.
That's true. Yeah, he is
More than a race.
You're right. You're
She's
right.
like a little bit. This is terrible. I don't even know how to.
You got to train for
Right.
Donna. You got
Oh.
to do them lunges, them squats.
This is hilarious.
We're objectifying most women
I
on
should.
the show.
Yeah, I'm not laughing. I'm sorry. What I
I
meant
would
is,
do Donna. Sorry.
Donna,
I
no,
mean,
her honestly, that sultry look she was giving me this episode, I was like, Miss Sarah Lavin. This is
Right.
she killed that scene. She killed that
My
scene.
favorite
but-
comment of all the things I'm reading is from Zenri Howell on Reddit. He said, not showing Donna and Rachel going mudding is the cruelest omission ever.
Oh, that's so. Oh, that would have been a really good scene. I was kind of
No. that at the end when
Him
he
fainting.
says, I gotta go. I'm going mudding with Donna. No, Lewis, you're going mudding with me and Donna. And when he fainted,
literally
I
kidnapped-
laughed so hard, rewound, watched again, laughed
Laughed
even
again.
harder. It was so great.
That was
such a
definitely.
great moment.
It was a very Lewis moment. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was very authentic. I was like, he would really react. Like
and it was
that.
such a great runner, the whole mudding thing
It
throughout the entire
was.
show.
I loved it, and I
liked
loved
it a lot.
even when he asked Jessica. I was like, "You did not just ask Jessica." Like, he's
I
like, "Want to go?"
know.
And she was like, and her response to me was the
Ballsy.
funniest because she was like, "No," like just so subtle
Was it
and
good, Jessica?
It literally sounded like that, and I was like, "That is hilarious." Because Donna, was very. Of course, she was intentionally funny and talking about how inappropriate it is, but Jessica was just so subtle about it. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can jump into the case. Which
What case? I'm too busy thinking about Sarah Rafferty.
exactly.
Men.
You
Well, and that's, I think, how most people felt.
exactly.
It was also this case, we literally jump into this case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like most time you meet the client and they have a scene or two to give you exposition about the case.
And you decide if you like them or not.
This case,
Yeah, I was like, boop.
it was,
You're there.
You're pretty much jumping in from that dream.
But I like the
like
way
that
it was
too.
set up. It was set up very like, oh, by the way, you didn't miss anything, but you're kind of already invested. Okay, let's go. Like I really like that because when he woke up with a dream saying he's in a tiff with Tanner, I like that better than having another scene of them being like, we meet again. It's like, you know what I
we've
mean?
seen
We've
it
done
1,000
that.
times between the two of them.
And it would be one thing if the people in this case other than Tanner mattered.
Yeah, exactly.
They clearly don't.
No.
This was
Yeah.
about Tanner and Harvey.
It had nothing to do about
It
the
really,
case
and that's the
itself.
thing. Like it was interesting how they gave us one scene of the client and then the plaintiff, or is that right?
The
Yes?
defendant and the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Yes.
There we go. I was like, that's not right. The client. And okay, so anyway, we get one scene of each.
But that makes sense
You got
because
to
it was
see-
his client and she was the plaintiff.
You got to see one simple thing, and then we were done. And I appreciate that because I knew exactly who I was fighting for or who I liked. And, and even it's crazy when they showed the scene of the guy saying, like, this is going to ruin my family. I was like, I kind of believe him. But then I was like, should I? I don't know.
Well, yeah, that whole sexual harassment thing that came up that Harvey was not buying at all.
Yeah.
That was cool because it was interesting that they did it because it was like, here's Tanner being Tanner again, the bad guy.
Yep.
And then when Mike's like, it's not illegal if I run into her and sees her in the coffee shop,
was so
she's like,
irritating.
that was my idea. And I was like, girl.
I know. I was like, girl,
calm
I felt
down.
the same way.
I kind of felt like we should ruin her whole life. Actually,
Well, I didn't want to ruin her
What'd
life
you do when you
because
were
of what she
16?
said. I know, and that's the thing. Well, I didn't like that
That's a
she.
bit rough.
I felt a little bad for her because she said that she was trying to start her own company and he was trying to crush her. So that was the only part that irritated me on his end. But yeah, I mean, a sexual harassment case is
sexual harassment
way
charge.
too much.
That's not cool.
That's way too much. And-
Especially because so much of it goes on that don't bring up a case that's BS because then that like knocks the ones that are really real and really need attention.
Absolutely. I agree completely. So seeing this case and the Travis and the Mike and Harvey dynamic, I loved how in the beginning they said, back to the old times or whatever, back to the old, what did they say exactly?
wait,
No.
back to...
The
Remember
boys
when-
are back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
pretty-
The
so-
boys are back in town. Oh, anyway.
They
Okay.
didn't-
Boys are back. What is the rest of that song?
They didn't do that.
We're just gonna-
Okay,
There's a
well,
whole
they didn't do
song
that, but
as
that's
well.
what I
They should
interpreted.
have.
They
Can
should
you
have. That would have been
imagine?
cute.
The
They
boys,
would have played it.
the Boys Are Back in Town is not a doo-wop.
Whatever.
Not a doo-wop song either.
Support
not.
us,
It's not.
Steve. Gosh,
It's
we're
our
gonna
rendition.
bring you around because you started using your shoulders. It's fine. We're
I
gonna
can't
bring you
even
around.
snap.
Anyway, so when they got back together working, I love Mike's caring moments throughout this episode. Harvey, I got your back, but I loved all the buts
Yeah.
because the beginning, the first season of Mike, you would have never seen these unless it had to do with like parents or like some kind of accident that affected
Yeah.
him personally. But you would have never seen him do butts. This episode, I really saw his growth in all these seasons as an individual, as a lawyer, as a sidekick, kind of. I don't know. I
Well,
I
also
loved
because
it.
he doesn't just like go full speed ahead like against Harvey or anything like that. There is that care there, like you were saying, where it's like, okay, this isn't a good idea. Like, can we maybe check this out? I'm really worried about you.
yep.
And Harvey doesn't always handle it in the best way, but it is nice to see. But I love the moment when Harvey comes in and gives him the case as a gift, and he's like, "What are you doing with your hair? Are you trying to look?" I've
They
been
mentioned
talking
his hair.
about this
every
recently.
episode.
This comb back thing.
I was very happy that they
Mike,
pointed that out. I was like, okay, so they know
no.
I'm freaking out because
Well,
this is really annoying.
But it had been covered. I think Patrick tweeted about it that week.
Oh, what
that
did he
it
say?
Well, someone tweeted, "Is it because that's how Harvey's hair looked like when you met Harvey?" And he was like, "Kinda." Like he kind of alluded to that being the answer.
Oh, but it doesn't look the
Go back
same
to
to
your
me. The
hair from
scrub.
before, yeah.
Yes,
No, because it's just like it's like too like greasy and like it
like
doesn't
slightly
match
too
his
polished.
personality.
Not at all.
I don't.
When he was like,
it.
"What are you doing with your hair?" He was like, "What do you mean? It's the same." I'm like, "It's not the same." Like I literally was like, "This isn't funny."
It's not the same as a lot.
Not even a little bit.
You have product in that, sir.
Not better.
So that was a great. You're very right. That was a great scene. So what did you think of Harvey in this case? The way he handled it. We can also allude to the end, or just talk about the end in general. Following his journey, handling Tanner. What did you think?
It was the same thing until the end.
Yeah.
It was, no, he's a bad guy. No, he's a bad guy. We're going to bury him. Our client's going to win. He's not going to get this thing. And it was Harvey trying to win, but not pausing to really think about everything that was happening. And, you know, and we got to see it through the psychiatrist, which I've been enjoying. But I think she was really good for the whole Donna breakaway thing and really getting to that. Now it's kind of like
Why are you
just a
talking to her
plot
about the
device
case?
to move
Yeah.
things forward in a way. But, you know, she's pretty. She's got a really nice office. It's fun to look at. And
She's a little
little
more important
different.
than that to this story.
She is. Now that we know she's going to be next episode.
Well,
Yeah.
But she's the therapist to someone. Well, to call someone broken, everyone's broken. But like she's the therapist to someone with a lot of problems that he needs to work through, and
Yeah.
we're gonna get to join. We're gonna get to join them, hopefully.
On the journey.
Next week looks like she might not be his therapist anymore.
She's going to be his girlfriend or his smash and bang. I can't believe I said smash and bang, but you know what I mean.
I've never heard that term before.
I went to college in the Midwest. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna move on. So yeah, but to me, okay, I don't think she just plays, you know, the basic pretty girl, but I
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. We really are seeing Harvey work through his stuff with her.
Yes.
But I'm saying now it's more, it feels a bit more as like a plot device to make things a little bit different.
Yes.
Whereas before with the Donna stuff, there was a lot of meat to that.
It was intentional.
And those scenes were really interesting. Like that scene where he sees her as Donna and has it whole what a powerful scene that was and what a great episode. So that's more of what I mean. No, I think she's fantastic.
I definitely
So
agree.
we're talking Harvey and the therapist, or is that where we are now? 'Cause
Yeah,
I had a nugget about that I think in Harvey's subconscious he's a lot of mom stuff. He's a lot of mom stuff we're probably going to learn about pretty soon.
I can't wait because that's been so under wraps. Like we knew that's awesome.
I think Donna is in real life is kind of a manifestation of his mother, because any human male's interaction with their mother is how they'd react, how they'd have an interaction with their future wife if they go that way.
Yeah.
And Harvey obviously doesn't have a wife and is having issues to have just a regular relationship, and I think Donna is kind of for a long time Donna was an enabler to problems, and I feel that's what his mother is or was.
I think his mother, from what it's interesting because I think I'm going to have to bring up Scotty because that's the only relationship we know. I think Scotty's relationship was affected by Donna and Donna's relationship was affected by the mom. Now, all that's indirectly because Scotty might not have made it for several other reasons. But I just see that he's getting one step closer, which is great. But I think the way that his mom was portrayed to us in the earlier seasons was that didn't she cheat with his dad? Or didn't she cheat on his dad
so,
and then you know abandon and that kind of thing? So I feel like it's more of an abandonment issue than like an enabler. Yeah, I think it's more of that.
I do think that Donna, with a Donna in the picture, no other woman stands a chance.
Yes. And so he needs to either decide she's the one or decide she's the one. Because I don't know if you can get red hair looking that good. They're really, listen, I have nothing else to help you with. Or A. You want the A. Yeah.
Well, B is therapist, then Donna.
I don't know. She's
No,
not.
the marathon and the race.
Yes, and I'm thinking you drop out the race, go for the marathon, drink your water. I think you should train for the marathon.
Hydrate, definitely hydrate.
Yeah, I think it's a point. But go ahead. What are you thinking?
Oh, I didn't understand really why during the poker scene when she's like, I know your tells, and then he's like, no, I don't have any tells, and they play poker and Harvey wins. I didn't understand why Harvey had to win. I don't feel like we got anything out of that. And correct me if I'm wrong or you think something different.
Well, originally,
I would have liked to see her win.
Her win, yeah, and then you would have got it earlier, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that was the purpose of having her be. We're nippling close to them sleeping together.
We can find out more about her.
We need to know about
life.
her. We need to be okay that the
Okay.
episode they sleep together. I don't like yell at the TV too much. So like now I know she's like a nice person. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what I got. Go ahead.
But she played poker with him to get there. To get there, that if she does know his tells, which she clearly, I think she knows his tells, she's just not as good at poker as Harvey.
I know, right?
Like, she just doesn't strike me as the type that plays poker as much as Harvey Specter plays poker.
Right. She passed for me for a little bit, but until she lost.
Yeah,
but
well,
anyway,
that was the thing. She lost, but I think that was part of her plan. That if she knows his tells, she can impress him, and if she doesn't know his tells and can't stay toe to toe with him playing poker, she can do what she did, which is like open up to him. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Well, I don't think she would. I don't think she would have known that that's what he was.
Yeah,
gonna ask.
she didn't know he was gonna have her open up about something,
Yeah.
and she seemed like very offended and not cool with
And
it.
yep, she was like,
he did
"Oh
bring it
no,
up.
that's not."
Because
in the
also,
cards."
I think, well, I guess in the way she told it wasn't. But I think my first thought when he said that, I was like, client, not client attorney, but client, therapist, like privilege, like she can't go telling you.
Right,
all this
exactly.
stuff.
That scene only
what it
irritated
was.
me because it prolonged Harvey just saying that it was Donna. To me, when he harbors those kind of
we
feelings,
already
I'm
saw
like,
it.
listen, because we knew, I was like, it's 45 minutes in. This is annoying. Yeah.
Well, I knew it was going to tie to his mother because the whole Tanner thing where he like brought it up in the past.
Right.
So I was very grateful at least that it wasn't like we saw it as Donna in the beginning and then later we see it's really his mom that he was seeing. And yes, she said like, listen, I believe that you're telling me the truth, that it's Donna, but I think she represented
Something
your mother,
else,
which she got all pissy about. But I was happy that it didn't like flash back and then it was like
that would have
the
been
mom-
super gross.
Super gross. I mean,
I'm like, not
I
with
don't
Tanner.
know what
I
Harvey's
can't.
mom looks like. Maybe
Well,
she's
well, no, it's
She's
not
probably
a
hot, but I don't
mama,
want to see
but-
her with Tanner.
We're not there yet, but I think it's not that Donna was his mom in the dream as much as Donna represents his mom.
Well, definitely.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
like
that's what
that's
she
it.
said. Yeah,
Yeah, like-
that would be weird.
Well, yeah, that would be weird
Otherwise,
that it was
yeah.
just.
Lauren's like-
Donna was kind of like maybe the mom he never had for a long time, for 12 years it seems like.
Ew. See, and this
No,
is the thing.
but-
We're associating. Like I
But-
appreciate what we're doing with Donna's role, but I don't want to ever think Donna replaced some like void to like.
Yeah.
And that's not.
Can
that's,
I just remember this. I'm looking at my notes, Steve. I have to show you this right
I
here.
saw that.
It says
I was
Steve.
going to ask you about
It
that later.
says Steve on my notes right here because when we opened up and Lewis is giving Donna the gift and she's like, "You're mudding," and he's like, not just mudding with me. I was like, no, Steve is gonna like totally go on a rant about this.
Funny.
And I was like, I still don't think that is ever going to happen.
Gross,
But it was just
no.
a moment where at the second he said it, I was like,
You can't even take them seriously because Lewis is Lewis and Harvey. I mean, and Donna's Donna, and the way they interact, he's always gonna see her like this, and she's gonna be like this. You know what I mean? Like, and it's great because it works. It totally works for them. It's
does.
funny and comedic, and they still have a genuine relationship, but it's like I don't ever want to see of them mudding. That's all. That's all I'm saying about that. But continue.
Well, I've been banned from bringing that up again.
yeah, pretty much.
I like that. I'm not mad at that at
I've
all.
been banned
no
from
one's-
bringing up team.
No one's correcting you.
D. Lewis. I haven't been able to even put
weird. It's
been able to put a hashtag together because I've been banned from talking about it.
And we're gonna move on now. So I'm thinking I was very proud of Tanner for backing down.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they're gonna do with him, or if they're gonna bring him back and then he like totally lied to us, or are they gonna keep him like this, or is he never coming back? What do
I
you guys
think we might be done with Tanner.
Yeah.
No,
Steve's so sure.
I think he'll be back multiple times. I think at one point I'll find out Mike's secret.
Ooh.
Oh, damn. Why do you always want people to freaking find out secrets?
That's how it has to. That's the card.
You're
Oh
always
my
doing that.
God.
It's very
Every-
stressful.
Why you gotta ruin everything?
Yes.
Sorry.
Like, it stresses me. I don't have any popcorn at the house. Anyway.
But how about the whole Tanner scene with Harvey when Harvey was, he was
man.
like, the reason why you're so, like, mad at all this stuff is, like, Donna left you, and we know that, and your mom is, like, who, bad words were about to come out of his mouth, and he was just like, damn, I'm like,
that was
no.
way
That
too
was my whole
personal.
reenactment of that scene. I hope you all enjoyed it.
If you're listening, you can tell by the sound. Anyway, I loved Mike in that scene. I loved how he was like, Tanner, get out of here. I love the defense.
Walk away now.
Like, that was cool. I was very sad that Harvey's going through so much. Like, the triggers are becoming very dominant, and especially this episode, it was like, oh my god, like everyone's gonna set him off. Like he can't even go see Jessica because she'll be like, get your shit in order, and then it's over. You're like, all right, this isn't funny. So, good scene, great scene. Hated Tanner in that moment, but
Wasn't his strongest.
yeah, wasn't that moment I felt for him, but I see why he had to go that way though. Harvey was going to send this woman to jail now or prison. Now I wouldn't say she deserved it, but the way
She
we've met
made
the
a fake ID when she was 16.
That's not that big of a deal, you guys.
To sign a contract.
Oh, you're
that
saying it's
she's
not that
now-
big of a deal?
It's not that big.
Oh, because it was to get her company
She made
or
a fake
something.
ID at 16 so she could sign a contract, as it's directly related to this case.
Got it.
I get why,
Yeah, like
but it just doesn't make her like prison worthy for 15 years. I don't know.
There were a lot of there are a lot of things I did at 16 I could go to prison for right now.
That's a whole nother episode, you guys.
Don't Google it.
That
Don't
is
Google
a
it.
whole nother episode, people. He said don't Google it, as we have your name right here on the banner, but okay.
Everyone is like, S-T.
Right,
Not
how did
my
you spell
name.
it?
Is that 2 N's in your last name?
I think it's Kaufman. Anyway, let me stop putting you out there on blast. So proud of Tanner for dropping it. Great that Katrina got to step in. Very proud of Mike for the way he handled it.
Yeah.
Overall, proud of Harvey, but not really. I think
He's growing.
he's growing, and I'm gonna support him in his growth. But I think I just didn't realize how angry he was. I
Yeah.
said it several times while we were watching. He just irked me. He wasn't seeing humanity in this moment. I was like,
Yeah.
dude.
It's kind of like Donna had everything tied up in a nice little bow, and the second she left, everything just unraveled.
Well, then what's going to happen next week? Because he's at the point that I'm like, I'm not sure what kind of lawyer you want to be now.
I wonder if next week, well, we can go into predictions later. Should we talk about Lewis?
Let's
we have to do
so
the
we'll
Lewis,
pause.
yeah.
We'll go to Lewis. Oh my gosh! So first of all, great to see Mr. John Piper Ferguson. Great to see him again. This was gotta get that in there. Gotta get it in there. So anyway, great to see him. Hated his character.
Sorry.
He did a good job.
Sorry.
Great, yeah,
good
you were
job.
great, but I was like, this man. I mean, I actually loved how played he got by Jessica. Ooh,
Oh
but
my God, it was so great.
yeah, let's simmer
With the
in the
whole
beginning.
Lewis thing,
Yes.
where Donna's like, you gotta do this like Harvey would do it, and he's like, I want to do it how I do it, and when episode finally,
I
he's
actually
like,
wrote
I
that
went in the
down.
middle.
I love that. I wrote that down because he said, I don't want to hear how Harvey would do it because I can't do it the way Harvey could. And I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, is this a realization moment?
That's actually good for Lewis.
It was
'cause
very.
Lewis
I
has
love
Harvey
that.
problems.
I love that. I was
Yes.
like, oh, he knows the truth, but not really. Anyway, it could have been a cool line. Who knows? But
But yeah, so he's finding some handed way to do it, and he goes
Mm-hmm.
to Rachel. I love the whole thing where Rachel's like, okay, I'm leaving. He's like, where are you going? And she's like, I gotta go to sleep. I have a test in the morning. I have school. Then the next day, he's like, where's this client? And she's like, how's your test, Rachel? I'm like, I don't care about your test.
he literally said,
Yeah,
"Don't
he's
care."
like, I really don't care. But signing this client who he can't sign, so then he fakes it with a.
Beautiful.
So in this moment, we end up learning that it was not a big deal, but the $50,000 check he gives this guy he's trying to impress to just get a hug out of.
so smart. I love the
I-
plan. It was hilarious.
But you in that moment, like a $50,000 check after we just had the whole thing about how he was too cheap to pay Donna's salary, which is how this whole thing started. In
But
the
you
first
can see
place.
he
But then he
voided-
said
yeah,
later,
he's
he's like,
but-
put a stop.
And he's so. I'm like, Lewis, you're so cheap, man. Oh
But
my
not
gosh.
to mention, that's how Harvey would do it. And Harvey would do that really well.
Harvey wouldn't put a stop.
He
on the
wouldn't have
check,
put a
though.
stop on it,
But
though.
Harvey would have
Orchestrated
done
something.
Yeah,
something
just to
else
make
where-
it seem
done something
like
else
it.
that didn't involve a check to get the same reaction.
And I mean, I
And
thought
Jack
it was
would have
going
bought
to
it.
work.
Lewis can't bluff. He's not a bluffer. He's a he's
He
a
didn't
grinder.
do too much. I thought that Jack Soloff bought it for a split second, but when he snapped him back in reality, it was like,
Oh my
I saw you
gosh.
the second you walked to my table. I was
Also,
like, really?
too, where he played Lewis into introducing it as I
So
have Harvey
annoying.
and Jessica's proxy.
Yeah.
Go ahead. He's like, yep, everything's still the same.
That really made me mad. I mean, I guess Lewis deserved it after
Yeah.
what you know, all the playing back and forth, but it just was like, man, no one buries the hatchet
That
here.
confrontation, by the way, in the bathroom.
Yes.
So seriously, like, are these unisex bathrooms or are these girls and women? Like, we only see.
We've established they're unisex bathrooms, haven't we?
I don't
No, I
know
think
because
they're
everyone's
separate.
always
Are they
in the
separate?
bathroom.
I think they're
Okay.
separate. I don't think we've ever seen a man and a woman in the
Sign.
bathroom at the same time.
But there aren't urinals.
No, that's true. Oh no, there.
Are there urinals?
No, there's. Have there been a?
Let's
Let
do
us
a
know on
deeper
Twitter.
Yeah, I'm like,
investigation
have
of
you guys
this.
seen urinals?
Screenshots or it didn't happen.
Hashtag
I don't. What the heck
Suits,
hashtag are you gonna give?
urinals.
Urinals at ABT. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. It'd be so funny if our bosses at AfterBuzz are like urinals. Let's go ahead and favorite that and tweet it to you. Yeah.
What is his name?
So I did love that scene, and I honestly thought Jack played him pretty well.
He did, yeah.
But Jessica is the ultimate
Woo!
player.
Oh, yeah.
She is the ultimate player.
When Donna, which by the way, Lewis is in the copy room throwing pens into the "you just got lit up" mug, which
Love
was really
that.
fun.
So cute.
And Donna says to him, like, she doesn't trust you anymore. Just tell her everything. Tell her about the paper you left out in there and all that. And
Right.
he goes in, and he's like, why aren't you saying anything? She's like, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but go get Jackson.
I love that. She was like, I haven't decided. And I
She
love,
decided
like,
immediately.
no, she couldn't have. You think so?
Oh, absolutely. I will also say, Lewis, this entire season has not acted like a name partner.
No,
No, not at all.
Not
It's
even a
so
little.
annoying. And that's the thing that's weird when I saw him in the meeting with Jack, I'm like, why are you even talking to Jack? He's like not.
I
He's
know.
like
He's not on your
beneath
level.
you.
Like,
Yeah,
don't let him run you.
It's kind of stupid. Like it just makes me sad because I'm like, Lewis gets played by people who I'm like, this is a new character. You should not be played by him too.
Yep.
It's kind of annoying. But you're right. Today was the first day she even said name partner. And I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Those-
I forgot
terrible.
about that.
That's not good. He works so hard.
But it was so
Not really.
genius how she's like, get him up here, and then she blames him for leaving it out there intentionally,
her.
and he's just about to
And he's
blame
like, "Oh, no,
Lewis
I
on
knew
it."
it.
And then he's like, oh shoot. She's like, that's right, because if you knew, you were obligated to report it, so either you're both getting
Absolutely.
fired or you're both letting things go back to the way
I was
they were.
I was a
like,
little
"Damn,
nervous. I was like, is
girl."
he gonna get fired? Like, because I feel like firing Jack has not that much to lose in
Yeah.
terms of Lewis. So I feel like he could have went the.
I know.
All
I
right,
thought that
well,
there
I
was a
hate you
chance
both.
that he might
Yeah.
take the fired option.
But he was like, I love how he ended it. Next time I'll read the bylaws closer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that is
know.
a slap.
But how about when Lewis was like, Jessica, when am I going to learn to not defy you? And
love
she's
that.
like, you're never going to learn, but I
as
know
long-
that.
And
as
so
long
we're
as
good.
I know.
And that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, Jessica really came through this episode. I was so impressed because I didn't think it was another firing thing, and I was proud that Donna's advice did work out. Because originally I was like, "Don't tell her the truth." Like that's what I thought
know.
because I don't want to see him get fired again. But I love how that played out. My gosh, Jessica came. That's one of those things where you're like, okay, what does she do? Oh yeah, that.
Yeah,
So,
I feel
yeah.
like she's
Yeah.
got like little cameras hidden or something, or like little minions running around reporting back as to what's going on as she like sits on her throne and then just like solves
She's
everything and brings it together.
I'm like, you
Yeah.
are everything, girl. I love it. I love
It's
it.
pretty great. Yeah, she like doesn't even like break a sweat.
Yes. What do you it was a weird scene to me when I know Mike doesn't keep secrets from Rachel, but when he went to go talk about the panic attack thing.
Oh yeah, I thought that was weird too.
Yeah.
Because also like, you know, panic attacks are very serious.
Yeah.
But the way that it was brought, I don't know, it was just like a very, I don't know, it was
Did you
almost
feel the same way I felt?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
gonna come back weird.
It was like too dark the way that
And
they
then he was
were.
like, he had
It's like it's
a panic attack.
yeah,
I was like,
he was gonna say it was like cancer.
It's
or
kind of yeah. I
something,
just
you
didn't
know?
like the way
it was a bit.
Yeah. Okay. I felt the exact same way, and I didn't want to minimize the fact that that's happening. It's very
No,
serious,
it's,
as we
it's
can
definitely
see.
serious, but,
But
it was
the
it
way-
was odd the way
she was
that
like
it was
3
handled.
weeks
yeah.
ago. He had. I'm like,
And she's like, oh well, then do whatever you have
yeah,
to do.
and I was like, this
like-
is kind of weird.
I don't know if that gives you permission to go like full ahead, but okay.
Real quick, we do have to circle back to Lewis and Jessica, where they're like, she couldn't fire Lewis because Lewis would reveal Mike's secret.
Oh yeah.
I do want to kind of address that. I feel like Lewis has come to accept Mike as a peer, and that's
We
something
don't
he
even
wouldn't-
see him though, but
But
you're
Lewis
right.
has come to accept Mike as a peer. That I don't even think that's an atomic option
That's
anymore.
true, that's true.
Because we spent a really long time dealing with that atomic option. That it's over now.
That's true. That's true. I agree with that.
But
That's,
it's worth mentioning that may have slightly factored into the decision, but also she needs both name partners to be on board with her
Yeah.
Because she's fighting a war with Jack, she's fighting a war with Robert Zane, she's
Mm-hmm.
fighting a war with a couple different people.
And every time that
sounds
firm
exhausting.
blows up into whatever, or they're having issues, it's very exhausting to watch Jessica put it back together. Like, it's so sad. Like, obviously you get to see her awesome work, but it's like, wow, I could never keep this running. This is a lot. So, yeah, that's an interesting point, though. It's very, I mean, I don't know. Whoever finds out his secret next,
Robert Zane.
God help him. Do you think Robert first or Jack? Or no, not Jack, Tanner. No, not Tanner, not Tanner.
Tanner's going to be...
I
We're
think
not going
it's
to see
gonna be
Tanner for like a
Zane.
year.
You think Zane, too?
It's got to be... It's future father-in-law.
I'm super scared of that episode. Like, I feel like I'll have to pause way too many times.
That feels...
I'm gonna watch that one at home.
I feel like... Have we covered everything else? Because this feels prediction time.
Are we? Okay.
I think,
I will just say the
Yes.
last thing is that I really hated that Harvey left the session again at the end. I really hated that he did not stay.
But I think that gives weight to what that means. Like, I think that's a crutch to his entire, to all of his problems.
I appreciate that he
mom
said, "You
stuff.
don't know what my mom means to me." I love that line,
Yeah.
but I didn't like. She's like, "I don't," and that's what we're doing here. He's like, "You called me a liar." I'm like, "No, sit down." Like, I really was like, please don't leave because you just came back. You just left last time. You know, it's just like, okay. So anyway, that's my last sad. Please work it out. I can't wait to watch you through your journey. You're the best. Okay, predictions. Let's jump into
Do
it.
it.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV prediction.
I think they're gonna get it on next week.
Do it. No, I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
I
soon?
do.
I do think that too, but I'm not going to chant for
I
it.
think it's going to be like, they're in the middle of the case and things are getting hot and, they're fighting. And then he goes to her house and he is like supposed to be there for a session, but he like lays into her and then they start making out. He like rips her clothes off.
Oh, God.
And then,
No.
he completes the race.
And then next week we see him in running shoes.
Yeah.
Also, I wasn't here last week. Esther yes or Esther no? Do we think Harvey did it?
Oh yeah.
yes,
I said no. I think I said no.
No, I think
don't
he
think
did it.
I said no.
I think he did it.
Yeah, I think
I don't
no.
think he did it.
And I was
Yeah,
a little
it'd be
upset
weird.
about it.
And I know Nicole said yes, and I was not there.
She
or
definitely
didn't-
said they did it.
No.
Yeah. That's hilarious. You both. Yeah, that's so funny. Okay, so now it's 2 against 2. So
We're,
okay,
we're straight up. We're,
that's
all right.
so funny. Okay, so into predictions. You think they're gonna do it?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with that. What do you
All right.
think, Steve?
I do not think that will happen next week.
Okay.
We know she's going to be a character witness of some type for Harvey, and she's going to defy him in some way. So that's my prediction. Also, my long-term prediction still stands that it's Robert Zane finding out Mike's secret and leveraging it with his
I
hedge
agree with
fund
that.
to take over the whole firm, to take over Pearson
But do
Specter,
you
Lit
think
Zane.
he'll still be okay with him
He would
being with
never do that
Rachel?
with his daughter. That's a lie.
if
I
it
think
took-
he's gonna like lay
If
down
it
the
took
law
Lewis
with
Litt
Rachel.
to accept Mike Ross, if it took Lewis Litt half a season to accept Mike Ross as a colleague, it's gonna take Robert Zane a whole season.
Yeah, to be okay with.
to be okay with Mike Ross as a son-in-law.
Yeah, that might be next
That
season.
just that's math.
It makes sense, and I can agree. I'm just sad that like I'm sad that you think it's a possibility he'd want to take over the firm. Like, why? There's other. Why? Why do you want to do that?
Because he has a hedge fund. We don't know enough to know. I don't know
know
all the
what-
details, but
yeah.
I know people with that kind of money.
Yeah.
The why is inconsequential. He's just going to keep moving
Right.
and eating things, just eating up the world.
Right. I'm waiting for the episode that Jessica finds out that Mike and Rachel are engaged.
I don't think that's
That's
going to be a
soon.
big deal.
I don't think it's a big deal. I just want to know what
Actually,
she.
I wonder because since we've had all this stuff where Jessica's telling Rachel that she's like a mini-me, maybe she feels protective of Rachel since she does know Mike's secret. So maybe she'll try to talk her out of it.
You think so? I
don't know, just a
she's
thought. I
Quote
don't know if
unquote
she will,
accepted
but-
them as a couple.
That's
maybe.
true, but marriage is a different story. But I feel like
Interesting.
everybody sees that coming in that office.
Yeah.
I would
whether or
love-
not they know. So,
Yeah.
I
I
would
don't
love
know.
for that to happen at the same time Zane finds out and leverages it towards, because it becomes a matter of, well,
Who
how
does
do you-
Jessica choose?
Well, how do you know this, Zane? Oh, because they're engaged. They're what? And it's I want it all to, and I want Jack Soloff to be involved somehow. I want
That
that.
is a cluster.
I want an
Explosion.
August explosion.
That-
Hashtag
Oh my
August
god!
explosion.
While Lewis and Donna are making out in the corner.
Stop that right now! Oh my god!
Going money. You said that.
No.
You said it.
No.
And they said hashtag dit. That's what we're
Hashtag what?
hashtag dit. DITT. That's what we're sticking with.
That is
You brought
Nasty.
it up. You brought it up.
It's
I
not
did
gonna
not
look
bring it
as
up.
cute
I'm
on the
still
cup.
here.
It's not gonna look as cute as the cup. You just got
not.
dit up. Oh, that actually. Okay.
Ew.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh
We
my
have to end this
God.
episode. I'm done with you guys.
Makes perfect sense.
Oh crap! Listen, writers, please don't do that. I rather watch. What's his name? The guy who took over the firm the first time.
But Hartman?
I'd rather watch him come back and have sex with Jessica. Okay, just kidding.
make
Just
it all
kidding. Honestly,
stop.
I'm just saying, like, it's all terrible. Please don't do that. It's all bad. Throwing extra jokes in for you. Where can everybody find you guys throughout the week?
If you want to talk to me about how that was weird,
That was weird. I agree.
you can tweet at me at Steve Kaufmann. That's Kaufmann. I am going to be on Mr. Robot, the panel for that, in about an hour.
Nice.
So if you like that show and you've seen that show, please join me here on YouTube.
Love that.
You guys can find me online at thefancyhippie or thefancyhippie.com.
Love it. You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. Also at my blog, naomiliving.com. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Good night, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.